welcome everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us for our session. Hopefully this will be informative, and we would like this to be interactive. So if there are questions that come up while we're talking about a topic, feel free to raise your hand. More than happy to address things in the moment. So we'll also have time for Q&A at the end. My name is Kai Chikawa. I'm the head of product marketing for Sendoso, and I'd like to welcome Arthur Castillo, one of our customers with Chili Piper, who's going to share his story with us in terms of how they leverage sending in their marketing initiatives and the success they're having. So welcome.
Thank you, Kai. So this is me, I guess. Hey, that's me. I am Senior Field Marketing Manager, and I also do a little bit on community. Now, what's a little unique about this presentation is I actually was an AE prior to moving into marketing. So I've got a chance to use Sendoso as an end user, which was really cool. First time I ever gifted as an AE, so I'll speak a little bit to that. And then more so now to the strategic side of how we're really thinking about gifting our brand, how it drives revenue, how we can create those virtuous circles for our customers. And a lot of that will be focused on this concept of buyer journeys. I think I've recently become pretty obsessed with this. I think anything around revenue where I like to see, okay, how do companies earn their revenue? What are some of the blockers of them not having some from getting that revenue? And I guess before we even take a step forward in this.
Let's introduce Chili Piper. What do you
Sure.
guys do?
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious. Raise of hands. Anybody familiar with Chili Piper here? Okay, we got a couple of people. So we are a scheduling software that helps companies double their inbound conversion. And how we do that, we have a suite of products. Our most popular, our flagship product is Form Concierge, and it's really a smart calendar link that pops up right after they fill out the form, eliminates that whole back and forth of, hey, thanks, somebody will be in touch with you within 24 hours. And then we obviously have to schedule that forward with the next rep that comes up. Now, to give you guys a snapshot of who we typically target, how many of you are B2B companies in here? Okay, nice. Team, check this out. We got I'm just kidding. So yeah, we really focus on B2B companies that have more complexity in their routing. Typically, we look for at least 100 employees, 10 sales reps. That's when we start to see a little bit more complexity happen. And part of the reason why I really like this concept of buyer journeys, and I think Sendoso and Chili Piper touch on this really well, is that I think as a seller or as a vendor, we try and control that buyer journey, but really all we can do is align to it. And part of that we see in the B2B space, for all of those high intent demo requests, only 40% of those on average make it to a first meeting. So there's a big leaky funnel at the top. And that's where I got this concept of buyer journeys. We really want to make it so that anytime somebody engages with you, we're actually getting them what they originally requested, that first meeting, maybe a demo call. Now with Sendoso, we'll talk a little bit more about how we look at it kind of throughout the buyer journey. But really that was a kind of quick snapshot of
Awesome.
Chili Piper and how we help companies.
I love it. So just curious, there are clearly some Chili Piper customers here, which is great. How many people in the room use any kind of sending or gifting in your marketing strategies today? All right, awesome. And then how many people are maybe considering it or curious about it and would like to maybe explore implementing it this year? All right, we'll have more hands by the end of the day, trust me. All right, well listen, I'd love to hear a little bit more, like why do you send as a marketer? Like why is gifting a value part of your strategy?
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody wants to talk, maybe for those that are already gifting. I'd love to hear from the audience what made you want to gift as a marketer. Anybody willing to share that? Yes, please.
We wanted to get out of the inbox because there's too much noise and everybody has spam controls, so
Yep.
emails are often filtered.
Exactly. Yeah, I think the email nurture gone are maybe the days that we're really getting a lot of revenue from that. We the way I look at it, I think there's really a couple of key facts here. So I think we're in this era, well, to start even with the dark funnel, a lot of these buying conversations that are happening even at this conference here today, maybe we run into somebody and it turns out to be a really good conversation, that instance doesn't really translate itself back into your CRM. And a lot of these, the rise of communities, we see people actually reaching out to their peers as the number one source of figuring out if this is something they should even check out in the first place. So with this era of dark funnel, we're already seeing that the company and the selling journey is becoming less relevant in that buyer journey. So we're trying to align to that. I think now we are also in an era of edutainment. I know we got a couple of content creators here themselves. I know Ding, the sales rapper, is here. And I think he's a great example of this era of edutainment, right? Gone is the email nurtures. We're not really seeing a lot of positive ROI come from that. And I think really what we're starting to see is that people either want to be educated or entertained. The sweet spot ideally is you do a combination of both to really stand out. And part of the dark funnel, or at least how we think of it, is how do we create those memorable experiences so people are actually sharing the experience they have with a Sendoso or with a Chili Piper, and getting more of that distribution effect through communities and social networks. I think the last point here that we're going to touch on, and I think Sendoso is really key for us, maybe not so on the awareness phase, although that distribution effect definitely gets people looking at some of our social posts and saying, okay, what does Chili Piper do? But I think, especially as a software company, we have to continue to make sure that that customer is happy. And ideally, you're engaging with them throughout the year, not just saying, hey, the renewal's coming up. And we actually use gifting as a way to even enhance the buyer journey after that customer signs.
That's great. I understand the conceptual side of why a company like Chili Piper would look to sending or gifting as a way forward. Do you want to walk us through some of the examples of what you guys are doing with it?
Yeah. So the first thing, and I think a lot of our gifting is around kind of our brand impact, how we're getting people to generate those word of mouth experiences. We know we're now in the age of the dark funnel, so maybe if I see something cool or a video that's relevant to something that I'm solving right now, I might go share that in a Slack channel, or I might go share that in a LinkedIn DM. So we're always looking at ways in which, how do we create these moments for our buyers that they're like, wow, this is so unique. I've never experienced anything like this with a brand. I'm actually going to go and post about this on LinkedIn, so maybe other people can check it out. As such, we're also trying to identify our product champions. So these are the people that already talk about Chili Piper at length, the results they've had. So how do we identify those champions and actually create raving fans out of those? We'll go through a couple examples, but we recently ran a contest where some, champions, influencers, if they won that contest, they got a trip for 2 for anywhere in the world. So we thought that was a pretty good gift to send them to. And really, once you send somebody to, Bali, they're going to be pretty brand loyal after that. So one idea we have there. And then with Chili Piper, because we have a different suite of we have a suite of products with different ones that focus on like the booking link, one that has more of a marketing use case. We typically enter through the marketing use case where they're trying to increase that conversion of first meeting, but we also know that really any department, any company can use scheduling, and it helps with our land and expand model of like, if we were to break in through marketing, then we're actually using gifting to maybe open up conversations with the sales department, with the customer success department. And that we find really helps, rather than just us saying, hey, we just signed your marketing team, you should check us out too. We find that really helps lay the foundation for at least them considering what they could get with Chili Piper.
That's cool. And I think part of the success of any company that's using gifting as part of their engagement strategy. It's an opportunity to actually build some brand equity. So what does it say about your brand? What does it say about your personality? The things you send and how you engage with those sends is really important. And I think Chili Piper, you've played well on your name, and you have a hot sauce campaign, which is pretty popular. I'd love to hear some more details of that.
Yeah, so this is our hot sauce there. Hopefully you guys can read it. We're lucky enough to really be on brand with this spice or whatnot. So it says light a fire under your SaaS. We typically target SaaS companies. And rumor has it, some guy tried 86 different hot sauces to get to this one. And I guess he did a really good job because people go nuts over this hot sauce. Like, yeah, we got a couple fans. We got a couple fans in here. Now, what I'll say is we actually don't use Sendoso with our sales development team. We try and keep them a little bit more targeted, and I'll talk about that last one in just a sec in terms of when we actually trigger Sendoso. But typically, we're leaving it more top of funnel through our marketing team, looking at maybe they engaged with one of our events. What we find is that even by including, we really reinforce that CTA. So whether it's like book a demo, follow us on LinkedIn, we say, PS, if you do this and send us a screenshot or something like that, we'll send you our hot sauce. So it actually really reinforces that call to action of people saying, yeah, sure, I'll check it out. And then as a kind of onto that, what we see is then people receive the hot sauce, maybe they go on LinkedIn and they post it a little bit more. I do want to talk about that last one there. So what we've done with Sendoso is we've actually have this automation in place where for a specific meeting type, once it's booked, we have it timestamps. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for, so once this last one, we have an automation set up with Sendoso that for a specific meeting type. So this is where we actually somewhat allow our SDRs to send a gift with Sendoso. The timestamp of when that meeting is, we have an automation sent so that the day of, they're receiving like a $5 coffee gift card. Sometimes we even have our hot sauce in there as well. And we've actually heard a couple of customers use this integration as well. And I'll tell a quick story here about, it was a specific enterprise deal, 6-figure deal. And that buyer already had in mind who he was going to purchase from. He went on their website, requested a demo. I think it took almost 2 to 3 days for him to even hear back. And in the meantime, what he did is typed in that specific vendor, their competitors, checked them out, submitted a demo request. Now, one of those competitors happened to be a Chili Piper and a Sendoso user. They allowed him to book right after, so he actually booked that same day. And with this automation, they had sent him this gift card, I think 10 minutes before his meeting. And his words were, guys, I had no interest in looking at you, but you let me book directly. You sent me this gift card 10 minutes before this meeting. If you have your operations that tight, you're the company for me. Yeah. So imagine even starting off that call, already kind of winning that customer over without even showing their product. And all due to maybe the big player in the space not necessarily getting in touch with them right away.
I love that. That's a great story. So we did touch a little bit about brand and the impact that gifting can actually have on starting to develop a brand story or a brand byline. And you also talked about brand and word of mouth. So can you share some of what it's done for Chili Piper?
Yeah, so I can't credit this all to Sendoso, Kai, but but we do think about how do we create raving fans, how do we create this distribution effect of our strategy. So to give you all an idea, last year, I think on LinkedIn, we had about 300,000 social impressions. This year, we're averaging 750,000 a month, so over a 30x increase in that. And you can see here, we're tracking now, we're starting to track more about people even posting their engagements with us and what that impression cost might be. And my manager actually even looks at this as like a cost of impressions of, okay, how much did it take to send that gift out and how many impressions did it generate? It's a really good metric to look at because I can tell you the hot sauce alone with a handwritten note, I think it costs like $22 for us to send. And I mean, just simply from the posts that people are going through and tagging on LinkedIn, that in itself is worth it. So we really try and incorporate our gifting strategy, getting people to share that and looking for ways. And again, I can't credit all to Sendoso, but it seems to be working somehow in terms of our engagement.
That's cool. That's really cool. I love seeing the social posts. When we do cool campaigns, we definitely see that kind of social effect of our customers posting stuff. So that's always very gratifying as a marketer. So, you guys are using Sendoso once they're in the funnel and as a customer growth and retention component. Do you want to talk through some of the use cases of how you guys are using Sendoso?
Yeah, would love to. And I would love to hear if anybody else is using gifting any other way. So more recently, what I'm super excited about working with the Sendoso team is we're trying to create gifts of packages of gifts where we can, the one example we have there, raising funds. If they've raised a new round, typically that's our sweet spot. We want to get in front of them as quickly as possible. So with Sendoso, we've actually been able to curate kind of a bunch of items and make it super easy for our team to see that once they see that news break, we can send them something right away. And then furthermore, to like really identifying those product champions, we did hire a customer marketing team and we're looking for more of those. But what we found is that a lot of these champions, they'll buy Chili Piper as soon as they move to another job. So what a great way to congratulate them from their promotion and also get them thinking about, hey, when it comes to your inbound funnel, how are you handling the scheduling piece? How are you making sure that people that request a demo actually end up in your pipeline? So that's great. Another one that kind of ties in again to our social strategy is we have a user research team that uses gifting as a way to incentivize people to even come on that first call to learn about them. And they've even told me some of the most rewarding times for them is when they do send that hot sauce and they hear something back from that person saying, wow, that was great, or wow, I can't believe you sent me this. This is really cool. They go back and post and we're like, wow, this is fantastic. I kind of alluded to this already, but the sending gifts after, we really try and do it in a way to reinforce that call to action. I know I've used this a couple times as an end user with our integration, your integration with Amazon, and that we were randomly giving away like a pizza steal once, and I was like, where the heck am I going to find a pizza steal? Well, thanks to Sendoso, I could go through Amazon and use my budget there. So there's a couple of use cases there. One, a bonus one we haven't even talked about. Okay. What we're starting to do more, and I'm sure you guys all saw that Super Bowl commercial with the QR code. I think that's like, for direct mail, that really is the point of conversion for us. Because of course it's nice getting a gift, but we're still hoping for them to actually pick up the phone, respond to that email, book a time. What we've started to do is tag on a QR code to these direct mail sends. And when they scan that, that actually links directly to our booking link, so that if they like that, we even have a software where you can send a quick video prior to them even getting to your booking link to say, hey, this is why I sent you this specific gift. This is what I wanted you to get out of it. If you're interested, please feel free to book a demo with Chili Piper. So that's something that we're really excited about, the use of QR codes with direct mail sends to reduce that friction on the conversion point and make it as easy as possible for them to book a meeting with you.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So just out of curiosity, I assume everybody in the room is a marketer, but how many of the folks are actually on the marketing side in the room? All right, makes sense. It's a B2B marketing exchange. Just checking. So one of the challenges I think for marketers is if you purchase a solution, especially for use by salespeople, will they use it? Like that is the big question. It is for us, and I know it is for many marketers. You can roll out the best programs in the world, but if your salespeople don't adopt it, the chances for success are not that great. So you want to optimize for success. And I think what's really interesting is you are an end user on the sales side. Your marketing folks rolled this out. So will you share a little bit about user adoption and how you got your AEs using it and how you drove that success?
Yeah, of course. And just before we get to that, anybody at this stage right now where they're considering purchasing something like this and they're scared about their sales team? Yeah? Okay. And is that like, have you done something in the past like that before and it didn't go well, or is it just always a worry of yours?
Kind of, sort of. I mean, we're just purely manual right now.
Yeah. I see. Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good use case, because I know if myself as an AE, if I was doing everything manual and somebody told me, hey, get a platform like Sendoso to make that like 2 clicks and send, you're in a better space there. But I think it is a worry. I saw some of you nodding your head of like, yeah, how do we get our sales reps to adopt this? So I can speak from my experience and how I use Sendoso as an AE. I think the 2 main use cases that I was looking at it from was 1, to open up accounts, and then 2, during the sales cycle. Here's what I'll say about to open up the accounts. We typically don't gift until they've somehow engaged with our value prop. We don't want to make it too gimmicky of, hey, take a demo for a $50 Amazon gift card. It's more so to like almost get them over the hump and say, hey, I know we were looking into scheduling this before. By the way, I'm just going to send you a $50 Amazon gift card. It's just a little nudge in the right direction. How I use Sendoso specifically was more in use case number 2 during the sales cycle. And this is what we found out. So early on, I realized, I think there was the top 3 or 4 sales reps, and I noticed that they were always sending hot sauce after the first demo with a decision maker. And I was like, okay, this is kind of weird. Why is like only the top sales reps doing that? And I asked the one guy, and he's like, I noticed that anytime I send it to a decision maker and they accept it, I know that deal's gonna close. I was like, get the hell out of here. Like, there's no way. And then I started noticing that the people that accepted it actually, yeah, lo and behold, were really serious about their use case. And we tried to take a step back, and it was almost like this law of reciprocation, right? Where we've had the first meeting, maybe we've scoped out the problem, and by them accepting the gift, it was almost a social contract to say, yes, this is a problem, we're willing to get this up to management. Thank you for the gift. How do we arm them with the right information, and how do they give us the inside information of, hey, you're about to meet with the VP, this is all they're gonna care about, speak to that. So it was really interesting in like working with the decision maker and the champion. Anytime they would accept our hot sauce send after the first demo, you can see here 78% of decision makers did, and it resulted in a close won opportunity. So that was great from an AE perspective. But I remember this example throughout, and I actually wanted to look back on, okay, for all of these deals that ended up closing, what did that result in post-sale? And we noticed that there's quicker time to first value. What we mean by time to first value is how quickly they were able to implement Chili Piper, as well as how quickly they were able to see an ROI on starting to see more people in the funnel. And then when we always ask them for an NPS score after their implementation, it was higher on average than our typical customer. So that was really cool to see that it almost gave them that social contract to say, yes, this is something we want to solve together, let's go through. So as an A, it helped us forecast those deals, but it even had those post-sales effect of once they became a customer, they were quicker to implement and they were happier with their implementation.
It's cool. You know, a lot of what we've talked about is some kind of a physical gift or a physical item, or it could be an e-gift card, for example. We also have seen customers get great success with experiences, so a virtual experience of some form. I know you used an experience in your early days as an AE. Do you want to share that?
Yeah, and I wonder if do we have time to even show the video? If not, I'll just talk through it.
We do actually have time for the video.
Okay, maybe. Anyways, anybody here familiar with Corporate Bro? Nice. Okay, a couple marketers going on Corporate Bro. So he's, I guess, a fictional character. He has a lot of qualms with marketing. And at the time, I was prospecting a company called Scratchpad. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Scratchpad, but Corporate Bro actually sits on their board. And we were getting close to a deal, but it was coming to end of year. And I knew, okay, they're not going to sign on Christmas Day. So what can I do possibly to like really stick out and get them to say, okay, that was really unique. So I went on Cameo, and used my Sendoso budget to find Corporate Bro And he actually sent this video to the VP of marketing, which he later went on to tell me, like, that was absolutely hilarious. They work together all the time. He like starts off with saying, like, Nate, I know you always ask me what I do in my spare time. You're looking at it, like, this is what people pay me to send these videos for. And it was such an experience for them that they were laughing so hard. And it didn't close the end of year, but I think it was like 5 days into the new year, they ended up closing. And like, we just had, again, it really got off to such a great relationship. I think they even made a LinkedIn post and everything like that. So it's a good point. I think a lot of the times with gifting, it's very physical, but there's a lot of experiences out there that you can actually give to your customers that, especially if you find some sort of unique hook of Corporate Bro being on their board of advisors, it really landed well. So
That's awesome.
that was the first deal I closed at Chili Piper.
Congratulations. Well, that's sort of the end of our story of Chili Piper, and thank you for sharing your story. I think it's a cool one. I'm going to just do a quick Sendoso plug, and then we will open it up to questions. But literally, Sendoso is an automated management platform for gifting, whether that's an e-gift, physical gift, branded inventory that you store in our warehouse and want kitted, or virtual experience. So virtual experiences like the Cameo video are an example, but we also do things like virtual wine tasting, virtual cooking classes, virtual, watercolor painting. We use them with our own sales field when we had to do our virtual RKO, or sales kickoff. So that's a nice way to engage teams. Our field marketing uses it quite a bit, virtual experiences in later stage deals. So, in this hybrid world where we're still just now coming out of the, work from home and coming back to public venues like this, I think there's still going to be an opportunity to engage people virtually as well as physically. So, really think about the use case, what accrues to your brand, and you'll find great success. It really does work. One of the things we think about is that it really is about the entire customer journey. We are not making more digital channels. Unless there's a new paradigm shift of technology that opens up a new channel, a new way to engage, the channels we have are the channels we have. And we're seeing the response rates diminish over time. So it's not the channels themselves that are the challenge, it's how we use them that needs to change. So if you can engage your prospect in an interesting way that accrues to your brand, makes it personal, gives them a reason or invites them to want to have a conversation with you, that is a leg up on your competition. So we really do think about it as a way to engage across the entire life cycle of your customer, whether it's building pipeline, top, middle, and bottom of funnel, or whether it is for retention and upsell. There's multiple use cases. We at Sendoso have a community called Super Senders, and our Super Senders are very actively engaged. We have a very active Slack channel. They share best practices. They share winning campaigns. We actually honor them once a year with the Sendy Awards with the most creative or innovative campaigns. But we find that sending is another way to actually build brand advocates. It really builds these champions that just go out and really do so much of the storytelling for you, which that's the best marketing you can have, is to have really happy customers.